Hey, everybody, welcome to the new Colossus sessions. I am your host, Brad Wagner. I'm here in New York City right now, and we are lucky enough to we're about to hear 5 songs total. 3 of them are from the current album, A Moon for Digging. We're lucky enough to be joined today by Max from Garden Center. Max, thank you so much for being here. Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you too. How's it
Yeah,
going?
yeah, dude. I'm so glad that we had a minute to chat offline, and I'm so glad that you're wearing a cape right now. It looks outstanding.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Hey, so
yeah.
I built it. I built it. I made it for a band, another band I was in called the Snivellers. It was like a court, like a sort of a band basically people that are like grime a worm tongue. Um, and I'm in the middle of making a medieval Snivellers outfit, so I have a cape now.
Well, dude, we're very happy to provide a platform where that cape can be worn. I hope you continue wear it at least a couple of days after today. Um, we are so
Oh yeah.
the internet. You're joining us from Yorkshire right now. You are in England, and the internet is not great. And so we did everything that we could in order to present this thing well. So we're going to chat live, but then we're going to cut to what you pre-recorded like an hour ago, 2 hours ago, maybe. And so, can you introduce for us what we're about to hear?
Yeah, this is the song Babysitter or I Am the Babysitter, which is from an older album of mine that came out on Faux Discs Records a few years ago out of Brighton, England. Yeah, and this is about being a babysitter and being a babysitter and being in love with someone and just hanging around with them and the child you're babysitting.
All right. Well, here it is.
Riding on the backseat of your motorbike, I smell the sweat in the gap between the leather on your neck. Oh, this could be the way you keep control over me. Getting out of the bridge in the middle of
Yeah. Nice.
Hey, oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Nice. So can you talk a little bit about the sorry for the playback at the beginning of that. Everybody, obviously, that was my bad, not Max's bad at all. But then you got it after I refreshed, right? Were we all set after like 30 seconds?
Yeah,
Nice.
that seemed to be is
Nice.
good.
We're all experimenting and figuring this out as we go. Can you talk a little bit about A Moon for Digging is was the first record. Realize that that one's not on it, but that so you're playing that one solo, and you had done everything solo up until this last record. Can you talk a little bit about the some of the pleasures of recording with a full band, some of the challenges of working with a full band, and just what that entire experience has been like on A Moon for Digging?
It was really it was very pleasurable, I think, because we had we'd all been friends for a while, and we'd all been playing in Garden Centre for a little while. But we it just sort of naturally became more of an interesting thing to do to record together. Beforehand, I was only doing things in my bedroom, and I guess I still am relatively fiddly and controlling about the little bits of music. But I'm slowly getting to enjoy more the fact that we're collaborating together as opposed to just playing stuff. Um, and By the time A Moon for Digging came around, we'd been in the band for a while together, and it just seemed way more natural to have input together as opposed to just me having input.
Right. Well, so what does that look like right now then? What does the collaboration with the rest of the members of the band look like? I mean, are you actively a couple of days a week getting together and zooming together, sending files around the country, or what are how does that collaboration look in the way the world is now?
At the moment, it is so I've sent me and Georgie, the other singer and keyboard player, and me and Laurie, the bassist and guitarist, we've sent tracks back and forth to each other and added bits on, and written bits, which is really great. It's really nice sending something away and then someone comes back with an amazing harmony. That you couldn't have thought of yourself, and you never would, and it came straight to their head, and it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. Um, haven't managed to collaborate much with Will, who plays drums, on account of it's. I don't think he can. I don't think he's got any drums available to him. So we need to figure out a way of getting everyone to be able to play.
Yeah, dude, that's rough, man. Maybe we can set up a fund me link or a go find me some drums.com and figure out
Yeah.
how to get a pair a set over to Will. Um, we there's a lot more music happening now. We're about to dive into the first one from A Moon for Digging. Can you tell us what's coming up second today?
Yeah, sure. This is like Get Drunk, and like a lot of A Moon for Digging and a lot of stuff I'm writing now, it's kind of about the split between trying to express yourself in the real world through interacting with all of the materials in the real world and trying to express yourself or at least express some kind of dissatisfaction in a sort of emulators world. Yeah, this is Get Drunk.
All right, here we go.
Tell me when your ship's gonna leave my bay and take away the cargo that it brings to me. Dig holes in the ground outside. Turn the central heating on. And get drunk, get drunk, get drunk, get drunk. Dance for the camera on your own.
Thanks, man. Um, what is so I intentionally did not Google around too much about that particular instrument. I'm sure you have been asked this in plenty of interviews. I hope you're not sick of discussing that particular instrument. I did not find out much more of it intentionally because I wanted you to talk more about it. What is it, and where does it come from, and how did you get interested in that particular instrument in the first place?
It's a bouzouki, which is popular in Greek and Irish music. Um, I can't remember why I got interested in it, but it became about 6 years ago, maybe even more. I think a long time ago. I became really fascinated with it, mainly because in Greek music, they use it to create a really weird, well, not really weird, just really great, really like percussive tone whilst making a melody, and I just think that's a really great sound. I haven't quite mastered how to do that yet, but one day I need to sit down and read read about it.
Nice. Well, dude, I think it sounds great. Let's see. Leo's here. Kanine Records. Hey, Max.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Mike is here. We've got a good crowd tuned in. My wife is watching from the park right now, so she was very happy with that last song. And we're
Good to go to the park.
yeah, dude, especially right now. It's too hot. It's uncomfortably hot in New York City right now. It's like 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, up from like 59 this morning. It's crazy. But there's a lot more music happening right now. We're only 2/5 of the way through. We're about to hear another one from A Moon for Digging, which if anyone watching right now is just joining us, the album is out right now on Kanine Records in the U.S. and Specialist Subject Records in the U.K. And more music is upcoming from it. Max, what's happening third today?
Third, we got Naked Ape, which is again part of that album about well, it focuses on digging into the ground, but this song in particular is about waking up in the middle of the night, hearing a thump and just convincing yourself that it's your flatmate dying, and running through all of that in your head before you go back to sleep.
Sorry, man. I'm fumbling around over here. Thank you, dude. That sounds great. I promise
That's
I'll
okay.
cue it up to the appropriate spot when we get into the next song. Let me see. I'm doing that over here. Oh man. All right. I think I nailed it for the next one. Can we talk a bit about so you've been accustomed to being a one man band is not the right word for it because there's been a band, but you wear a lot of the hats in terms of or all the hats, songwriting, production, all that kind of stuff. Can you talk a little bit about the vocal effect on it is striking. It's unique. It sounds awesome. Can you talk? And also, I know I didn't ask you about this offline at all. No is a perfectly acceptable answer. Would you like to talk about some of the specific vocal effects and dive in there for some of the audio geeks who may be listening right now? What type of effects are the things that really do it for you?
I feel like if there are any audio geeks listening, they're not gonna they're not gonna like what I use. I use like a guitar like a really like a guitar multi effects pedal that I got when I was 15, um, which just has really bad like digital reverb on it. Um, and then it just for some reason sounds really strange when I sing because I can't sing low when I write my own songs. I wish I could. But for some reason, as soon as I try and like sing a song that I've written, it goes immediately to like na da 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 da. Whereas like, you know what my natural singing voice is like a low voice. I like for some I don't know why I can't write low singing. I just for some reason it just it like strikes the back of my throat and I can't sing good.
Dude, I think you sing good, man. I like your singing, and I also don't think
Oh,
that any
thanks.
audio geeks would be too put out by you saying that it is a piece of hardware that's doing that effect, man. I enjoy it. Like, I mean, for this live stream, if you were trying to do something, if you had told me you were using just something in the box, you're using the first thing that Reaper told you to do, or the first thing that Pro Tools just like out of the box gave you, that would be a lame answer. Plugging into a particular pedal, even if you got it when you were 15, I think the fact that it's hardware and it's a fact that you are physically plugging into a thing, I don't know, dude. I like that answer.
I did try this during this lockdown. I've been like maybe I'll try and learn how to use digital production tools, and it's not gone very well. um, I can't quite I can't quite figure it out. I just never have been able to do it.
Well, dude, this is great, man. We went through plan A. We iterated 4 times, I think, before we landed on the format that we are presenting to the internet right now. I think we got it right. I mean, as long as I nail the appropriate place for the next song to start from, it's been interesting working through this entire process
Yeah.
and coming up with a way that works, man. This is cool, man. I have enjoyed working with you thus far, and there's still we're only 3/5 the way through this thing. Can you tell us what we're gonna do
Only three
fourth today?
fifths. Fourth is a new song um, called Thin. I was writing an album about boxing, and then I didn't really want to write an album about boxing, it turned out. Um, so I decided to write an album about people watching things and streaming things, um, which is strange because I started writing that before before everyone had to stay home and stream things all the time. Um, and since that's happened, I've stopped writing about it. But beforehand, I was writing um, a lot about streaming and the idea of trying to live uh, your physical life vicariously through other people um, on the internet. And this song is about staying up late at night to watch in the UK to watch a boxing match at Madison Square Garden very late at night, um, and feeling very like pasted down by the fact that you're staying up and it's 4 a.m. and there's you're just staying up to watch someone else get beaten up.
In, in. There is the canvas spread on the floor of the ring.
Nice. Thanks, man.
No
Um,
worries.
yeah, yeah. So this the seemed like the uniting, if there could be said to be a uniting theme to all of this. You were talking about holes, man. Everybody loves a good hole, and holes are seem to have found their way into many, not all of, but number of the songs on this album. Can you talk about your fascination with that subject and how it has woven its way into the album?
Yeah, I've always been really fascinated with finding things in holes, like in a completely non-euphemistic way, I guess originally. The I just always been really into the idea of digging a hole without knowing whether there's something in it and finding some story in it or some object that creates a story in it. Um, and I was writing about that largely, I guess, because I wanted to talk about trying desperately to be part of the real world um, and not necessarily being able to do that as much as I'd like to do, even though I have every opportunity to do so. And actually, since I've moved to Yorkshire, I've been digging a lot more holes. I found a really good, like 17th century pipe, like a clay pipe, fully intact in a hole the other week, and that's great. There's loads of good holes. I found a great fly tip, really old fly tip, like a Victorian fly tip, the other day. And it's really dangerous. In a my girlfriend fell through a fuel tank, but we did find some great stuff. Some really cool old Victorian medicine bottles and stuff like that. Um, I don't know, holes have always been kind of interesting to me because I think, as well as the fact that they can be sort of like metaphorically useful, they're also just a physically interesting interaction with the earth.
And that was, dude, what struck you as when you found that 17th century pipe? Was there nothing? Was it just flat ground, and you chose to dig a hole there, or was there already a hole that you continued to excavate and then found it there? I mean, what struck you as that was the spot that you had to dig?
It was so it's like under my house. There is a stream, um, and in the sides of the streams, there's always interesting stuff. So if you dig into them, you can find because often the mill workers would like throw their pipes, which were I guess considered rubbish, um, and they'd lodge themselves into the side of the stream or get like swept into them. So you can find interesting stuff if you dig. Good digging tip. So try digging in the side of a stream or river.
Nice, in a densely populated area, and out in the middle of nowhere. Probably not going to find anything in that stream, but
Kind of. I mean,
have you read? Have you
where I
read?
am now,
You go ahead.
where I am now isn't very densely populated anymore, but it was an industrial area before. Now it's the countryside, but it used to be like a cotton working industrial area. So there's lots of places that look like nothing, no people in them, and there's always evidence of people. You're walking through the sort of remains of people.
Nice. It was. It reminded me of. Have you read the Neil Gaiman book, "The Ocean at the End of the Lane"? By any chance? It's there's something about the your fascination with holes and finding things that are not evident to the naked eye that reminds me a lot of like his the stuff he writes about, like childhood fascinations that carried on into adulthood, and we can sort of remember like how fascinating that would have been like 20 for me 25 years ago, how fascinating that would have been, and then finding that it is still fascinating. There's a reason why that stuff was interesting when you were a child. It just is inherently so.
I think there's I haven't read that Neil Gaiman, but maybe I will. But I think there there's something inherently fascinating about uh, finding finding stories that aren't yours yourself, especially when it involves physically changing things and physically moving things around.
Agreed. Absolutely, man. There is more music coming up, and this is another one off of A Moon for Digging. I've got Wide Sea coming up last. Can you tell us a bit about this song, and then we're off.
Yeah, I suppose Wide Sea is more of a personal song than I'm used to writing. There's not really any narrative that I've added in there or thought about to start the song off. It's more about I guess it's more based on a situation, which isn't usually how I write songs. But I found that it was a very satisfying way to write this song. Um, and part of it is just about standing. I used to live next to the seaside, and just standing next to the seaside and trying not to think about the enormity of everything because it's a bit much.
If I had it my way, I would go everywhere with you. Arguing until we turn the color blue. Uncovering networks of mysterious hidden bunkers. I argue just to lose. And it's a white sea that opens up in front of me. It's a white sea, and I can't tell what's underneath. If I had it my way, we would leave all of the lights on. Boil a ham and leave the oven cooking. You would not want to get on those railway tracks. Finger your legs over the side of the cliff. And it's a white sea that opens up in front of me. It's a white sea, and I can't tell what's underneath. And it's a white sea, that opens up in front of me. It's a white sea, and I can't tell what's underneath. And I can't tell what's underneath.
Right. And this has been cool, dude. Thank you for joining
Yeah,
us on
thanks.
your Friday evening, my Friday afternoon. It's just ridiculously hot here right now, and I think I'm probably not going to go outside until it gets cooler. But I've very much enjoyed my Friday afternoon with you, and enjoy your Friday evening, dude. Thanks for wearing the cape above all, first and foremost. We really appreciate that. And A Moon for Digging is the album that we just heard. We heard three songs from it. We heard one. Wait, remind me. So between Thin 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 and Babysitter, which one of them was an old one and one of them was a brand new one? Which is the brand new one?
Thin is the brand new one, and Babysitter is an old one. It was on an album called Monster Energy.
Nice. So three off of the current album, brand new one and an old one. A Moon for Digging is out on Kanine Records right now in the U.S. and on Specialist Subject Records in the U.K. And we'll pay all the bills quickly. Facebook, please follow Max. It's at Garden Center on Instagram, on Twitter. It is, I love this, Max _of_cats. And follow us too, the New Colossus Festival, across all the platforms on Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. And join us next week as well, please. We've got the band Tallies joining us from Toronto. And Max, thank you so much for doing this. Enjoy the rest of
Thanks.
your evening. This has been great.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been fun. Yeah, this is a new way to have fun, and I'm having fun. Thank you. Yeah, cheers for having us.
All right, man. Have a great night.
See ya.